and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. I hope you're all very, very well today, here on the 2nd of January. I've rearranged the lounge. We've put Christmas away. It hasn't quite happened yet. Well, we've put Christmas away, but we've still got things to sort out. There's a table full of chocolate there. There's a sofa with nothing looking lovely on it. But yeah, we rearranged and put this chair here. When we first moved to this flat, I used to film my videos from this chair and had plans to sort of read and stuff. But I don't think we ever did because I think it was a bit dark. But we've now got this light, which I might keep this here. I don't know. How are you finding it? How are you finding it? Today's video is my January TBR. So it's the books that I plan to read in the month of January. Now there is going to be a reading resolutions video going up as well, but one of my reading resolutions, and I've literally had this thought yesterday as I was trying to fall asleep, I think I'm going to cap my TBR every month at 10 books. Because I've always been sort of like, I'm never very strict with my TBR, and if I don't get through the books that I stick on my TBR, then that's fine, and I always pick up other stuff. But I was thinking quality, not quantity this year. And yeah, I think I'm going to stick to sort of 10 books a month, and then if I don't want to read them, I don't have to. I mean, none of it really means anything, does it? Because I don't always read all the books on my TBR and I add things as I go. But yeah, I thought I would stick with 10 books. So, a book on my TBR that I've already started reading. I started reading this yesterday on New Year's Day, and that's Reputation by Lex Croucher. This is a book. On the front here it says it's as if Bridgerton and Fleabag had a book baby. I don't know about the Fleabag reference as yet, but I can definitely see the sort of Bridgerton references. I'm like about a quarter through, maybe a little bit more than a quarter, and I'm finding it tremendous fun, very fun. I don't know if it's a little bit mean for me, and I don't know, obviously, as I said, I'm quite early doors into it, so I don't know if this sort of like meanness, there's an in crowd, and our protagonist Georgiana is sort of trying to get herself into the in crowd. She's basically in the in crowd now. But one of the victims that's had to fall to her getting into this in crowd is somebody called Betty that's been introduced to her by her aunt. And they were not very nice to Betty at all. And I didn't feel like, I mean, it may well be resolved, but yeah, there was a little bit of meanness, and I thought, oh, I don't know. But I'm quite into it. It's about friendship more so than romance at the moment, although I can see that there's a romantic thing about to happen. But yeah, so that's book number 1 on my TBR. That is being read now. Then I've got my Patreon book club book, and that is Crimson by Niviaq Cornelissen. This is also known under the name as One Night in Nuke. This book, I'm so excited to read it. The theme for our January Patreon book club was books set in cold climates, and this is a book set in Greenland, and actually originally written in Greenlandic, which was a language I had no idea existed. It was translated from Greenlandic to Danish by the author, and then it's been translated by Danish to English by Anna Halaga. And yeah, it's about 5 friends and their lives in Greenland, in Nuuk, and Fia, Sarah, Ivik, Inuk and Arnak. And yeah, LGBTQIA themes in this, and I'm looking forward to reading it. So yeah, looking forward to discussing it as well. Then I've got Emily Ratajkowski, My Bodies. This is a collection of essays that Emily has written with regard... Is it a collection of essays, or is it... I know it's non-fiction, yeah, I think it is, about... yes, essays. These essays chronicle movements from Ratajkowski's life while investigating the fetishisation of women's beauty, the obsession with and contempt for their sexuality, and the perverse dynamics of the fashion and film industries, and the grey area between consent and abuse. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that, and I've heard really good things. When it came out, it was quite the big event. I really like this sort of like 90s looking front cover as well. I'm very into that. Then I've got a book that I got sent by a publisher last year that I thought I would get read by the end of this year, and I never did get round to it, and that's Misfits by Michaela Cool, and this is a personal manifesto. Michaela Cool is a writer and an actor, and yeah, this is her McTaggart lecture being put down into writing, and it is about race, class and gender. So yeah, so this builds on that speech that she did there, and talks about other bits to do with her life and how she got where she is. So yeah, very much looking forward to reading that. And then I've got another one that was sent to me by the publisher last year, which I haven't got around to reading yet, and that's Wake, The Hidden History of Women-Led Slave Revolts by Rebecca Hall, and this is illustrated by Hugo Martinez. So this is a graphic novel about slavery and slave revolts, and it looks as though it's set sort of like now and in the past. I'm very into these sort of educational like educational non-fiction graphic novels, because I feel like I learn quite well, like this will sort of imprint itself on me quite well, so I'm looking forward to learning more about the women-led slave revolts, and Rebecca Hall herself is a granddaughter of slaves, so yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that. Then I've got The Secret Lives of Church Ladies, which I'm very excited about. This is Disha Filia, and I think I heard about this on Jen's channel. I'm always surprised at how heavy this tiny little book is. So this explores the raw and tender places where black women and girls dare to follow their desires and pursue a momentary reprieve from being good. The 9 stories, so it's a short story collection, feature 4 generations of characters grappling with who they want to be in the world, caught as they are between the church's double standards and their own needs and passions. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that very much. Next one, speaking of heavy books, big book. This book comes out in January. We are in January. This book comes out this month. I've never read anything by this author before. This is Hanya Yanagihara's To Paradise. Now, A Little Life was a book that a lot of people read. I never got round to reading it. And then by the time I sort of thought, oh, maybe I would read it, I'd heard sort of stuff that made me thought maybe I wouldn't enjoy it. And then The People in the Trees is the other book that Hanya Yanagihara's written. But yeah, I mean, it's absolutely massive, isn't it? It's almost 700 pages long. I'm very much looking forward. I love reading a big book, and it rarely happens for me. So yeah, I can't wait to read this. I love this front cover as well. It reminds me of The Tidal Zone by Sarah Moss. Let's find out what it is about together, shall we? In an alternate version of 1893 America, New York is part of the Free States, where people may live and love whomever they please, or so it seems. The fragile young scion of a distinguished family resist betrothal to a worthy suitor, drawn to a charming music teacher of no means. In a 1993 Manhattan besieged by the AIDS epidemic, a young Hawaiian man lives with his much older, wealthier partner, hiding his troubled childhood and the fate of his father. And then I love this, it's set over 3 different time zones. And then in 2093, in a world riven by plagues and governed by totalitarian rule, a powerful scientist's damaged granddaughter tries to navigate life without him and solve the mystery of her husband's disappearances. Yeah, this sounds great. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to get into that. I might take this away with me. I'm going away for a weekend with my cousin, all being well, so I might take that away with me. That'll be a good thing to get a dent into. Then I've got a book, again, this is a book that's out in January, and this is Wahala by Nikki May. This was kindly, so this is a proof copy, but Philippa, who runs the book podcast Quick Book Reviews, I was on the Christmas episode, and she kindly sent me some books to say thank you, and she also sent me this, which is a proof that she's read recently, and it says Sex and the City with a killer edge for fans of Queenie, which I loved, Expectation, which I also loved, and My Sister the Serial Killer. So you're following Ronki, Simi and Boo and their 3 mixed race friends living in London, and they're all Nigerian and English, and they talk about how their different cultures affect their lives and stuff. And they talk, and then this is, I guess, where like the similarities to Queenie happen. So everyday racism has never held them back, but now it's in their 30s they question their future. Ronki wants a husband, he must be Nigerian. Boo enjoys, correction, endures stay-at-home motherhood, while Simi, full of fashion career dreams, rolls her eyes at her boss as her boss refers to her urban vibe yet again. And then Isabel, a lethally glamorous friend from their past, arrives in town. She's determined to fix their futures for them. So yeah, but yeah, it also says that then their friendship sort of starts showing cracks. I think there's like a thriller element to this as well. But yeah, I'm excited. Very excited about that one. Very excited. And then I've got Eastside Voices. These are essays celebrating East and Southeast Asian identity in Britain. This is edited by Helena Lee. Ooh, I got sent the proof copy of this, and then quite surprised I was to get the finished copy, so this is very exciting. But the reason I got drawn to this is because Gemma Chan has written an essay in there. I love Gemma Chan. She's an actor. She was in Fresh Meat and more recently Eternals, which is one of my favourite films from last year. and she'd done an essay in it, and I think I saw it on her Instagram, and yeah, and now I'm really excited to read all of these essays from East and Southeast Asia, and what it's like for them to, for people from East and Southeast Asia, or of their parents or parents' parents from there, and what it's like to live in the UK now. So yeah, excited about that. And then lastly, and again this is something that I will go into on my reading resolutions video, but reading resolution I would like to do, and it's for me and David to do. I love reading aloud, and I also really like being read to, so that's why I like audiobooks so much. But yeah, I love reading aloud, and I quite often read aloud. If I'm in the bath, I read aloud. If I'm reading, like, I find reading aloud really helps me when I'm reading stuff where the accent that I'm reading isn't my own. One of my earliest memories of this is Wuthering Heights. I remember trying to get through that at school and just being like, my God, I've no idea what these people are saying to each other. And then when I started reading it aloud, I was like, oh, I can actually work out what's going on here. So I love doing that. And sort of like lyrical stuff, I really like reading that aloud. But basically, I just love reading aloud. And I like being read to as well. So I said to David, oh, this year, maybe we could make it a sort of thing that we do together, where we read a book a month by reading it aloud to each other. We've done this before. We've read like books aloud to each other, not properly, sort of, they've been more like children's books and stuff, but I thought, well, it'll be nice, and like almost like a almost like an audio book, but with me and David reading it to each other. And I'm going to pick the January book. As I said, I'm filming this and this is going up on the 2nd, so we haven't started doing it yet, because I had a bit of a sore throat today, and I was like, I don't really want to read aloud, but I might be up for it tonight, but if not, tomorrow morning we will do this. But I picked the first book, and I picked Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro, which might seem like a bit of a miserable choice. This is a reread for me. I read this many, many years ago, and I've recently been sent this gorgeous copy. This is a Faber members edition. They've got 4 of these, and I picked Never Let Me Go out of the one. They emailed me and asked me if I'd like one, and I said, yeah, I'd love this. So yeah, I think this will be a really interesting book to sort of like read and discuss together. And because there's sort of like a, maybe, I don't want to say much, I don't think David's listening, but like a sci-fi element to it as well. But yeah, I think it'll be a good one, and also the chapters aren't too long. So I've looked, so we're going to do a chapter a day each, and that will take us up to 24 pages. So they're roughly about 10 to 12, I mean, some might be a bit longer. But yeah, I thought that would be a really nice thing to do. Do other people like reading aloud? Tell me what you think. So there we go. So there is my January TBR. Looking forward to all of these, very, very excited. What are you guys planning on reading in January? Let me know, and I'll see you all again soon for another Richie video. Goodbye!